This video is brought to you by Granger Motors, where you can save up to $1,300 on a factory extended warranty on your new Ford or Ram, Jeep, Chrysler vehicle.
Guys, welcome to the world debut of the refreshed 2025 Ford Maverick compact pickup truck. In this video, I'll be able to show you three of these new trim levels of the Maverick and tell you all about it, including some pricing as well. This is becoming a hugely popular and important vehicle. In the first 6 months of 2024, Ford sold over 77,000 of these little pickup trucks. And yeah, that's a big number. And while they refreshed it, did they answer all the questions that owners and journalists also had? What about an all-wheel drive hybrid? What about more towing? What about performance? I'll be able to answer all those questions right now. And let's actually start with the XLT that's in the middle. What you see right here is the new XLT trim, but XL still exists. And at the end of this video, I'll tell you some pricing, and the pricing did increase, but they've added a lot of features to this truck. So the XLT is kind of a mid-grade, or maybe slightly lower than a mid-grade now, but it has a new face. So in the comments below, let me know what do you think about the new styling. The headlamp design changed, the grille design changed, it has a new logo. We first saw this logo style on the 2024 F-150 pickup trucks, and now it's here on the smallest brother of them all, the Maverick. And overall, the size remains the same. The interior dimensions and the bed dimensions, they remain the same. And there's still really two power plant options. There is a 2-liter turbo EcoBoost engine, and there's also the hybrid system. When the Ford Maverick first went on sale about 3 years ago, I have to double pull this lever. It made news because of its efficiency. It was a 2.5-liter gasoline engine combined with an electric motor and an electronically controlled CVT, continuously variable transmission, to deliver super great efficiency. And we've tested it, and it does deliver. Now for 2025, the powertrain mostly remains the same. You still have the 2.5-liter engine, but it now has a beefed up transmission. You can't really see it here, but it's hiding somewhere down here. It allows for all-wheel drive. So yes, that question has been answered. A lot of customers, a lot of you out there really wanted all-wheel drive capability with hybrid efficiency, and Ford is delivering that to you now for 2025, this refreshed model. Now the power remains about the same, 191 horsepower and 155 pound-feet of torque. So that horsepower number is combined, gasoline plus electric. The torque number is not combined because it's hard to kind of calculate that, but you do have that electric motor. Now the transmission, the CVT, has been beefed up. And the way this works is there's basically power coming from the engine, and then there's an electric motor, and the transmission kind of marries the two. So it can use either electricity or gasoline power or both. So it can combine that. And in front wheel drive orientation, so if this was still a front wheel drive hybrid, Ford says up to 42 mpg in the city. So that's very similar to where it was before. Now for all-wheel drive like this, 40 mpg in the city. And why do I say in the city? In the city is where the hybrid really shines. So if you're commuting in a vehicle like this and you're in stop and go traffic, so you're decelerating, you're recouping some energy, and then you're accelerating, that's basically the best conditions for a hybrid. And to have a pickup truck with potentially 1,500 pounds of payload and 4,000 pounds of towing, that also gets 40 mpg in the city when it's not carrying anything. I think that's very impressive. And that's what you're going to have. Let me take a minute and tell you about this video's sponsor, Granger Motors, and their extended factory warranties for new Ford, Jeep, Ram, and Chrysler and Dodge vehicles. Let's face it, guys, the new cars and trucks that are coming out right now are packing even more amazing features with technology and more complexity than ever before. And because of it, an extended factory warranty is worth considering the next time you buy a brand new vehicle. Did you know that you can buy an extended extended factory warranty from any dealership. Yep, you can buy a new car or a pickup truck from your local dealership and buy an extended factory warranty from Granger Motors and save an average of $1,300 off the list price. Granger can do this because they're #1 seller of Ford Protect warranties and one of the top sellers of Mopar vehicle protection warranties in the country. So contact Granger Motors next time you buy your new car or truck for that additional peace of mind. Just use the link in the description below. By the way, you heard me correctly. 4,000 pounds of towing, even for the hybrid and even for the all-wheel drive hybrid. So here you see the 2-inch receiver. Here you see all the wiring for the trailer. There's a 4-pin connector. For smaller trailers, there's a 7-pin connector for bigger trailers. And for hybrid all-wheel drive and the EcoBoost, the 2-liter turbocharged engine all-wheel drive, you can get upgraded towing package, which is 4K, 4,000 pounds of towing. That's the maximum towing capacity. So Ford did not raise this number. So if you were wishing they would bump it up to about 5,000 pounds, they didn't do it. But they did offer it with a hybrid and all-wheel drive. So I think they answered a lot of your questions by offering this choice. And I think that's great. Yes, of course, the Tremor off-road trim is coming back. And it's no longer a package that you add to another trim level. It's its own trim now that sits at the very top of the Maverick lineup. And here's the latest one, the latest style. Once again, this is the more premium headlamp, different grille for the Tremor, and it has a little bit more ride height, just as before, and painted tow hooks, and a little bit more off-road capability. Here's the front tow point right there. And the FX4 is also coming back. FX4 is the other off-road trim, which is right there in that XLT trim level. And what also differentiates the Tremor is, well, not just the tires. The tires are a little bit more aggressive. These are Goodyear Wrangler Territory RTs, all-terrain tires. And of course, the styling is just like it was before, with this single spoke of the wheel highlighted in code orange. Of course, it also has a slightly higher ground clearance, like I said, but also the fancy rear differential. This is a twin clutch system in the rear, which basically can provide like a locker, basically a locking differential, and also torque vectoring for off-road use. So if you need to send power to one side or the other, for example, you're searching for traction in sand, this system can do it. And we showed it at our Tumbleweed Range, at least a couple years ago, and it's quite capable. Of course, so this part is plastic, and this departure angle is not great because this overhang of the bed is pretty long. So it's not going to be a rock crawler, but it can go off-road, and it will tow upwards of 2,000 pounds. So when you choose a Tremor, this is the only one that will not tow 4,000. So this one is a little bit more focused on off-roading and a little bit less focused on towing. Now, I want to show you the bed. I already mentioned payload, but there are a couple of interesting features in the bed. So let's switch over there. All right, so let's take a look at this bed. Like I said, the bed features or dimensions didn't change. You can still do something like this where you can build your own multi-layer, kind of level storage system so your stuff doesn't roll around, or you could put material here. Your tailgate cables can be moved up so the tailgate sits a little bit taller, and this matches in height to the wheel wells, so you can put a 4x8 sheet of material, and in fact up to 18 of them to match the payload of your truck. But the change comes here. So the previous Maverick had these pigtails, basically a 12-volt system that you could pop out of the bed. They call it flex bed. And you could tap into this very easily. Instead of splicing wires, you already have a connector. And you could power things like small compressors or lights, additional off-road lights. And they doubled the power really. So on each side, there's now a capability of up to 15 amps of power. So there's one on this side and the one on the other side as well. So before they shared this 15 amp capability, but now you have two options at the same time. Also on this side is the inverter, which is 400 watts. And I think this is one thing that I really wanted. I wanted more power, up to maybe 2000 watts on the inverter system, and Ford didn't include that in at least this iteration of the Maverick truck. Who knows what will happen in the future, but at least for now, 400 watts is kind of the industry standard for inverter systems in the bed or inside vehicles, and Maverick has it. But because it was a hybrid option, I was hoping for more. Not quite yet. A couple more things before we get to the technology and interior changes. First, I wanted to show you that these Mavericks do come with a trailer brake controller. It's here on the left by your left knee. So maybe not the most ideal place for a brake controller, because a lot of people are right-handed, and sometimes in an emergency situation you have to be able to actuate the trailer brakes very fast. But at least it's very open here. There are no other plastic pieces, so that's really good. I'm really happy that they're including it optionally with the 4,000 pound package. And here, payload for this XLT with a few options, it's 1,304 pounds. And if this was a base XL front wheel drive model, which is also a hybrid, then it would be 1,500 pounds. So still very competitive, really great payload. But now let's jump into the more fancy one and see the new technology. I'm gonna show you the new interior in this Tremor, because this has the most options. First of all, the first obvious change is this gigantic screen. This is 13.2 inches in diagonal, and it's huge, especially for this somewhat more affordable compact pickup truck. Now, before it was about an 8-inch display, and then there was a cubby here. But now they have a new system, and it's a split view system for a 360-degree view. So you can see kind of a top view and in front of your vehicle. Of course, you have many different camera modes. 360-degree cameras are available. Then, of course, cruise control is available, but now adaptive cruise control is also available. Copilot 360 2.0 available. For towing, there is also what Ford calls Pro Trailer Hitch Assist, where it helps you back up towards the trailer. I can't demonstrate it right now, but the system is available here. And also Pro Backup Assist for the trailer. So if you're at the boat ramp and you're launching a boat, this will help you back up your trailer as well. So those features that are available on bigger trucks, like the Super Duty, the F-150, the Ranger, that technology is also available here in the Maverick. So I was wondering about this, the angle of the screen, because Nathan and I, when the first Maverick came out, we thought that the angle of the screen was a little bit too kind of tilted. It's almost vertical here. I think the angle is all about the same, and I think they're doing it because of glare, to kind of reduce glare. But you know what? Because it's bigger, I don't mind it as much. I think it kind of works a little bit better than before. Also, you have an optional sunroof that's available as well. And the digital display here, this 8-inch display, is still available for you up here. And pedal shifters. Bang, 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 bang. So you could have a manual mode. 4-wheel drive, rear locker. I kind of mentioned it already. Off-road modes, traction control setting. Here's your 8-speed automatic control, wireless charger, and different stitching now. So there's a couple of different colors. I cannot show you all of them. You could see this kind of almost looks like graffiti spray, overspray here, and of course orange stitching around the seat. So they're trying different color combinations. And in that eruption green truck in the Lariat, I can show you a couple of other interesting things. This color is called eruption green. It's available on other Ford vehicles as well, and it's quite luxurious. But also Ford says this green color will only be available for 1 year on the Maverick. So 2025 is the only model year for that color. So if you really want it, you gotta be assertive and order it or find it soon. I also wanted to show you here a couple of interior color patterns, like this insert here with orange. This is the Lariat once again. And then let me switch over to this XLT right here. One of my favorite Mustang colors used to be grabber blue. This accent here, and also that accent is in the center console by the cup holders. And I think it adds a lot of kind of brightness to the interior, the grabber blue. I think that would be my choice for an interior combination with cloth seats, something a little bit more simple like this in this XLT. I think it's just right. And here's another thing about this new infotainment system. This is not the new Ford digital experience that you will find in the new Ford Explorer for 2025. They still call this Sync 4, and it's standard across the board for every Maverick, and the screen is also standard. But it looks really great, I think. You still have all of your features, all of your settings. Here I can show you a couple of other things. Of course, the owner's manual. This is a new feature that Ford is adding to some vehicles, record feedback, where at any point, at any time, when you're in your vehicle, you can actually record a little message, and Ford will actually process that information using artificial intelligence and see your comments real time. Well, not real time, but they can aggregate it and then study your comments. Of course, you can add a trailer. This is really cool. So this is not the digital experience system. They call it Sync 4. And your climate control system is actually digital here, which I wish there were physical buttons for this. They're not. It's in the screen here, but I think it's well done as far as the graphics and the clarity. Now let's talk about the turbocharged power, the 2-liter turbo, just for a second. It's still here, but now you cannot get a front-wheel drive 2-liter turbo anymore, and it's no longer the base powertrain. And also the power numbers are changed just a little bit. So the new 2-liter turbo is rated at 237 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and 277 pound-feet of torque at 3,000 RPM. The torque number remains the same as it was. The horsepower goes down a bit because it used to be 250. And we don't have the final fuel efficiency numbers on this powertrain yet, at least not right now. So the power goes down just a smidge. But I'm not too worried. And by the way, if you're wondering about fuel requirements for the turbocharger, for the turbocharged engines, it's 87 octane. And also for the hybrid system powertrain, it's also 87 octane for those power levels. All right, so now you know about all the changes and the new features on the 2025 Maverick, but now what about price? Well, the base price for the XL hybrid front-wheel drive, which is where it all begins now for 2025, is $26,295 before the destination charges. Destination is $1,595. So yes, the price went up from where it was in 2024 for a 2-liter front-wheel drive. It went up about $2,400, almost that amount. So yes, you are paying more for a Maverick now, but I think it's still one of the most affordable little pickup trucks you can find anywhere. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Check out oldtfl.com for everything automotive in one place, and also tflstuff.com for new merch.